And in the bottom left here in the red, he's for Team Liquid. Apparently, this is his dedicated stream over the last couple days. He is Elazer.
And his opponent, spawning up at the top right for Kites of Gaming. It is Solar. And we got to talk about it. He fell to Rainer's Protoss. Now, does that mean that Solar is playing poorly? Not necessarily. Rainer's Protoss is actually incredibly good. He has already beaten some very, very good players with it, and not just in PvZ, which we would expect to be the best matchup for him, but even before he beat Solar, he'd beaten Armani in an ESL Open Cup, he'd beaten Hero Marine in an ESL Open Cup, he'd beaten Showtime in PvP, and really ripped him apart with Zealot run-bys. He is embracing the hero style in all matchups, and he's making Zealots look incredibly powerful. Rainer has shown us that he is so good. So beating Solar, it's a huge result, and he does it on LAN, which does make it, I think that makes it the biggest result of all of them, is that he did it in a bigger tournament on LAN, but he's already demonstrated that he's capable of doing so. So he's basically put himself as, in my opinion, I think he's claimed, and I don't even think you can argue this point anymore. He is a top 3 player in the world, maybe of all time for StarCraft 2 for me at this point. Because if you do that the way he's done it, and you have the achievements that he's had with his main race with Zerg, I don't know how you ever get away from that.
Oh no, Steadfast though, the other way to make this argument though is that was a mark of respect from Rainer against Solar, saying, yes, I don't want to play your ZVZ. I think it's too volatile. I'm worried about it. I don't know that I'm going to be able to survive. And I'd rather play what I view as a more stable matchup. So now in this ZVZ setup where Rainer says, I don't want to play against Solar's ZVZ. In fact, I'm going to play my off race against it to avoid that. That by itself is, again, a fantastic marker of respect, but we got to talk about on the other side. Elazer is one of the few players that really Elazer and Lambo, one of the few players that can really hold a candle to these Rainer and Cyril type players in this matchup in Europe. So yeah, Solar's ZVZ scary enough that Rainer doesn't want to play Zerg against it, and Elazer, well, he's got his own bag of tricks.
He certainly does. They both are wild Zergs, and that's why I kind of alluded to them both being Korean-esque style Zerg players. It's going to be very exciting. It's super funny. They're mirroring each other almost exactly. They both built 2 Zerglings initially, and then they both built 2 Zerglings in response. We will actually see Elazer. Oh, can he get that 1 Zergling? No, not quite. Would have been kind of nice if he would have been able to. Sees the Baneling morph, sees a couple of extra Zerglings for defense, and he's going to say, okay, we are in fact doing exactly the same thing. The only difference, Elazer does not morph a Baneling, Solar does. Tiny difference, not going to be a big deal in this game.
Oh no, Steadfast. Solar's miles ahead here. His Evo Chamber is 50% build time completion, except he's not building anything out of it. So really what difference does it make? You talk about lots of aggression, Steadfast, but we got right past the 27-28 drone breakpoint. Quick as you please. Lair on the way for Solar. Roach Warren on the way for Elazer. So we are finally seeing some radiation in the play. And, okay, it looks like Roach Warren was going to go down here for Solar. Getting Lair first, so his speed's going to be first. Elazer has an ability to make more roaches. And Elazer with 12 lings on the way. Looks like he might want to get a little aggressive here, but Lair on down, I guess not.
No, he is going to definitely put on some aggression just in the mid game to see what he can get done. He doesn't have any Banelings he can morph. Oh no, he does on the bottom right side of the map. Okay, so he's got a couple of Banelings he's going to try and sneak on in here. He's going to look to blindside Solar a little bit. I believe that Solar, okay, he's on 5 gases. He got a very quick second gas and a quick layer. I thought this was going to be for Mutas, and I think it still might be. Ooh, Lings and Bane's going to move on forward. He does bait out the Baneling of his opponent, and now the Banelings of Elazer are going to get in here.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Banes. Huge move! 13 drones go down, and he baits out all the Banes of his opponent. Oh my goodness, this is so much damage. We do see a couple of drones going down on the other side of the map to just, it looks like 1 or 2 Zerglings. But that was a massive connection, and now Elazer is so far ahead in this game.
I'm looking, it's like, okay, yeah, he's going to get 5, maybe 3. It seems like Solar's got the pull, and then Solar just doesn't pull away far enough. He clumps all of his workers together, and he massively exacerbated the damage that Elazer was able to get. But now here comes the counter push from Solar on the other side. Lings and Banes, they come rolling on in, but with Roaches here already, it's really hard to get the Baneling connections that you're looking for. Look at Elazer's positioning as well. He's got vision everywhere. Baneling's on the left, Roaches on the right. He says, I don't want you, you can't go high ground. Not easily here. Lings run forward from Solar, but they're not going to be able to get all that much. Oh, man, he triggers a couple Banes too. That is fantastic because that was, what, 4-6 Lings? Elazer takes out so much of the pressure that Solar's putting on, and now Solar, he's down 20 workers. He's building more Roaches, sure. He's got Roach speed almost done, sure. But Elazer is aware of this game state. He's just building more and more Roaches. He's not droning it past this point. I don't know that Solar's going to be able to build enough stuff to even punch through.
Well, I mean, okay, I was just going to say, Elazer did start a second Evo chamber. He got a 6th gas. He is very far down in army supply at the moment. It's catching up. Oh, he's gonna lose the 4th base with no cancel. Nice manual detonation. He gets a few units, but here comes the big Roach push. There's no Roach speed for Elazer, so his concave is going to be struggling a little bit. However, he does have that +1 missile. The Lings are gonna come in and tank a little bit, but I think, well, actually, this is really close.
You look at the supply, and it's like, yeah, it's close, but then a lot of it is in production as the Roaches, they continue to pile on forward. Has Solar found the small opening, the slimmest of margins in this game? More and more Roaches finding their way, but of course, Elazer can't really inject right now. His Queens are all needed at the front. Again, the supplies. Nice. Oh, yeah, he's got so many Ravagers here, Steadfast. But it looks like Elazer's going to be able to hold at the end of things. Yeah, no, Elazer, he's got more and more Roaches on the way. He's establishing his concave now. Roach speed is now done, +2 halfway on the way. And it looked so damn close. Oh, Solar almost punched through, but Elazer 1-0.
That's a really nice win for Elazer. Oh. But after how much damage he got done and how prepared he was and how basically perfectly set up he was, that was a lot scarier than it had any business being. That's a victory in game number 1 that is almost scarier than like a straight up loss, you know? Because when you get the kind of damage that he did, and you are basically doing the almost the perfect response. I mean, Elazer still was fine. He was still fine. He still held it. Maybe you could argue he overdroned a little bit, so that's why it was as scary as it was. But like that is the kind of victory that leaves you feeling you're just like a little closer than I thought it would be. And that's the kind of thing where you don't want to watch the replay. You don't want to see how far ahead you got and how close it actually came at the very end. Elazer, he's a consummate professional. He should be fine. He should be fine. I don't think he should be shook by that. But that is the kind of thing that, as me, with all the knowledge that we have, I'm like, Elazer, that was closer than it should have been.
You know, I don't even think it's overdroning from Elazer. I think the big mistake he made, and I think that you look back and they're like, okay, I just don't take the 4th. I'm very happy on 3 bases because the 4th forced half of his army out. Maybe he took the fight, but the Roaches were able to find their way in, start to get some of those Roaches down, start to knock at least the energy off the Queens. If Elazer's just defending one attack path, maybe he's got a wall in the natural, or like he's got some Roaches in the wall to make sure there's no Ling run by. I think that's a much easier hold for him because he had enough stuff. It was really more positioning than anything else. But again, that's something that's really easy to look back on and say, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I won the game anyways. We're going to have to see, though, on a bigger map, and actually one of the prettier maps. Actually, all the maps are pretty. We're going to get into game 2 now, folks. It's Elazer up 1. Cosmic Sapphire is that map. In the bottom right here. Oh, he's going aggressive. 13-12. He is, for Team Liquid, Elazer.
And his opponent, spotting up at the top left for Kites Gaming, it is the Blue Zerg player, Solar. Now, okay, we got to talk about what this can mean. Obviously, this means extremely heavy aggression. There is no doubt of that. But there are a lot of ways you can do a 13-12. You can go for a very delayed queen, straight into Ling speed, straight into a Baneling nest, and just go all in, and then get the queen behind it. You expand extremely late. You can go for just Ling speed, and you get a queen, you get an expansion, and it ends up being kind of a speedling all in. You can go for the Ling speed, delay the Baneling nest, but still go for it, get queens. But I think we're going to see Elazer getting the Baneling nest, getting just enough gas for 2 Banelings, and then he'll expand behind this. That is what I expect to see. He pulled this exact build, what I'm describing right there, against Raynor in DreamHack Masters Valencia group stage, and that was actually the map he took off of Raynor, despite the fact that Raynor was actually able to slip a couple of Lings across the map, get like 9 drones with a counter Bane attack. It was still, because he killed that hatch and expanded so quickly behind it, relatively speaking, it was still a massive advantage. And look at that. Oh no, he's not actually stopping mining gas. Will he take the expand though before the queen? Yeah, he's not building the queen. He's going to expand very quickly and going to build a lot of Banelings with this.
All right, so Elazer was able to do a good enough job avoiding the overlords that Solar did not know what is happening just now. Oh, he's pulling drones. Steadfast. This is you don't pull drones against this version, not with Banelings on the way. Elazer's just gotta bait this out. Oh man, if he gets the Baneling connections he's looking for, speed done in 5 seconds, drones gonna get pulled. He's pulling them off creep. He says go, 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 go. But the Lings, the drones, they're running on back. Ling's looking for a surround. A good splits here from Solar right now, but actually fantastic Baneling connections. So many of these Lings do fall. Queen trying to find its way into a choke here as more and more and more Lings on the way. They get a good surround on that Queen, so that Queen is dead. Second Queen arrives, but there will be no wall blocking this off. So Lings, I feel like you dive up the ramp just to get that Queen down, but no, Solar is not aware of that one, so it's going to be a dead natural here, and now he's going to find the Queen. Now he's going to try to make something happen. Oh, good job. He prevents the burrow, but it's going to get down anyways. Lings, though, finding their way on in on top of the Queen here as well. Baneling, it's going to get targeted down, but a second Queen is dead. Natural stays alive, but now Lings into the main base here. Solar, he's got to get a fantastic pull, and for now, a great micro from the man, but 2 workers have fallen. How many more does Solar get? PCs. Oh, the Bane. Oh, so many drones get the right connection. It's 5, but that is actually going to be mostly the end of it here with the Lings popping on out. Speed done in 7 seconds. Steadfast. Well, actually, more Lings. They're in the main base here looking for all those low drones that the Baneling got earlier, but no, Solar doing a fantastic job preventing that one from happening. But Baneling Steadfast in the corner. No, Solar's aware of it. Okay.
And he will deny one, does deny the other. That's really big. Well, actually, if both had finished, he could have still potentially gotten more drones. He still comes out of this ahead. Elazer comes out of this with a lead, no doubt. He is... Well, actually, they're both droning. Yeah, there's only 1 Queen on the map for Solar, and he hasn't been able to inject, so Elazer is going to scale out of this a lot quicker, and he's going to find an Overlord. However, the counterattack for Solar... Ooh, Elazer's got to be a little bit careful right now. There are more Lings in this position. Elazer with some fancy micro on those Lings to get them out of harm's way. He actually draws away 3 Lings with 2 to let the Queen fire for a little bit longer. Little moves like that are actually going to be enough for him to hold here. Some very dynamic micro coming in from both sides, but it's going to be Elazer coming out with enough to break this continuation. However, Solar did force out 2 extra sets of Zerglings. So that's actually a victory in and of itself. That's effectively killing 2 drones by forcing those 2 additional sets of Zerglings to be made.
Oh man, Steadfast, that was sick micro from Elazer there. It's kind of I'm glad you're talking about it because I'm just sitting here like, okay, oh god, what happens? Oh god, what happens here? Does he make it happen?
It's so Razor's Edge.
It really is. But now the game stabilizes for the most part. I do like you point out that, well, Elazer still has queens here, so he has injects. He actually has a queen at the front as well, so we can start to spread a little bit more creep. As Solar's not going to get that one, sacrificing a drone effectively to try to deny that creep. Will be unsuccessful in doing so. This Overlord should not go down. It's too far off creep. But now Elazer, technically he does have more injects, so I think we have queens there for Solar as well. As Solar, how does he look to move on out of this one? Looks like he's going to have a quicker Evo, having a quicker Roach Warren on the way. Does Elazer take a 3rd base here? Where does he go?
I think I'd like to see Elazer take a 3rd base. I would love to actually see an Evo chamber and like +1 Carapace. I think that would be a great way to play this one out, or even maybe +1 melee. But we're seeing a lot of players mixing in +1 Carapace and using it to go like Roach Ravager Ling, or just for like a big Ling flood, and then they go into +1 missile behind it. The difference between, oh, there's the Evo chamber. The difference between +1 missile and +1 Carapace in Roach versus Roach fights is not massive. It is not a huge one. We are going to see the layers starting up before the Ling can get the scout. That is, I really, really like that, because that's going to make, that might make Solar think that the layer started a long time earlier and could make him panic. And there it is. There's that +1 Carapace, and he's getting double gas. All right, I like this. I like this a lot.
Steadfast, what we do need to point out, though, is that Ling that ran by, Elazer put that Evo chamber behind his mineral line to avoid a scout. Well, Solar
he didn't put
see
it
it
far
anyways.
enough back.
Yeah.
He should have put it, so instead of putting it here, he should have put it here, where I centered the camera, like, just like underneath the minerals. Obviously, it's, you know, hindsight is 2020, but you know that if a Ling gets into the main base, it's going to see that Evo. And there's no need to actually let it be seen. We are going to be seeing the, most likely, just a big Roach speed push coming out from Solar. Oh, Elazer does get the drone. Cost him a few Lings, but I would say that's pretty worth.
Oh, that's absolutely worth it. Elazer's already so far ahead economically, right, with that third base. And we do expect Solar to go for a push. All right, with this quick Roach speed timing, +1 speed timing, but he does want to have a third base behind it. So, yeah, losing
Elazer?
4. Sorry?
I was just going to say, he might need a spine right here. He's like droning super hard right now, and he is not respecting the potential of this push very much at all. We do see Changeling here.
Look at how Solar's posturing, though, Steadfast. With getting that spine, dropping the creep for the spine at the third. Well, no, I guess that enables the attack. So now with more, yeah, okay. So Elazer sees more and only Roaches, so he's got 14 on the way. +1 will be done for Solar, but Elazer, he will have that Carapace. I don't know that he's Carapace done for this fight, actually.
Because Solar is not hitting right with his +1 missile, it should come online basically in time. Yeah, it's actually going to come online basically exactly when he needs it to, which is a huge, huge boon for those Lings. Instead of getting 2-shotted, they will get 3-shotted. But he's actually just going to counterattack with the Lings, which I don't hate, but I would prefer them in this fight since they're already here. Yeah, he's going to try and wrap around on this. Oh, he's going to look for reinforcements, I guess. Distracts the Roaches a little bit. Queen's going to help tank, and this is looking very, very good for Elazer. Oh, walks into his own corrosive bile. That's not exactly good, but I think he just has the numbers at this point. He did stop droning early enough to deal with this. Solar did drone up behind this, but Elazer's so far ahead right now in terms of just army supply, in terms of tempo. He's really cruising here, and Elazer, he needs to start up his +1 missile, but that's, as long as he does so, he should be fine.
That was actually such a cool use of those Lings as well. I assume it was just I said, I'm going to go left, I'm going to go right for counterattack, looking for reinforcements. But you talk about how it does take 3 shots instead of, well, +1's done, so it kind of mitigates that. But you eat a full set of shots there from all the Roaches and lose less Lings than if you had actually committed. And that was really all that Elazer needed. But Solar, 4th base on the way. This does get scouted. Elazer has his as well. And Elazer, well, he's going to be able to have 1-1, but Solar, he's 2nd Evo. So he's going to have 2-1, as Elazer does not quite have that one just yet. So this game goes long enough. Yeah, Elazer's got a 20 army supply lead right now, but it looks like he doesn't really want to hit with it. And Solar will have an upgrade lead going into what I assume is going to be the next fight, which, well, that can make up for a lot.
Yeah, and if Solar can somehow find, okay, never mind, he dropped a Changeling. If he could have found a Contaminate on this +1 missile, there is a world where it would have been +2 attack. Carapace wouldn't have been done, but it would have been +2 attack versus just +1 Carapace. Instead, if it's +2 attack versus 1-1 Roaches, not as big of a deal. +2 attack, well, 2-1 versus 1-1 is a pretty big deal, though. Because of the damage point values, attack upgrades are, you get +2 from them versus the +1 army, you only get +1 defensive setup. So 2-1 Roaches are outperforming enemy Roaches by 2 damage per shot. Yeah, 2-1 versus 1-1. Yeah, so that's the big difference there.
Okay, Professor Steadfast.
Burrow movement, yeah, right? Burrow movement and Tunneling Claws coming on down, by the way. I like this a lot. I really like the way Solar has played this. He's been super aggressive, and it's put him a little bit behind, but he's creating so many good situations and so many opportunities for himself.
So Steadfast, I'm a bit worried for Elazer here. He's maxing out for this 1-1 timing, but he's actually going to hit his max a little late. He got himself massively supply blocked at 156, built 5-6 Overlords, built himself up to 1,000 minerals, 1,000 gas really in the bank. So instead of being on the map right now maxed out, some of his production at least is, or some of his income or whatever is in production here. But now here come the roaches on the right side. Elazer winning the one on the left. Biles, they kind of land, but there is just so damn much here from Elazer. He looks to go on in. Yes, there is an upgrade lead, but only one attack, and this is just not enough. Elazer 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Elazer, he we talked about Solar cutting drones for a big attack. It was Elazer who just didn't build any drones after he got up to like 59, yeah. And then I think he built a hatchery to go back down to 59 or 58, yeah, and just went hyper aggro from there on out. And he hits that max out timing, gets the job done. Elazer is all of a sudden on a 2-0 lead. Wow, this is really nice out of Elazer. He's got to be feeling himself at this point.
No, he really does. And by the way, update, we're still not done with the Scarlet Hearthstone series. They are 10 minutes into game number 4 after playing a absolute banger of at least from what I saw, of a game number, that's a big storm, of a game number 3. So we're getting pretty far ahead actually of the main stage. So by the way, fair warning, hopefully this does go to 5 games. I think it absolutely can. But if that is the case, I think we will have a bit of a delay as we move into the round of 16. So just keep that in the back of your minds. But for now, Elazer is looking so good, Steadfast. I mean, maybe he overdrones a little bit. Maybe he gets himself supply blocked. That did slow down his timing a little bit. But at the end of the day, if you win the game, does it really matter?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's not about how you get him. It's just about getting him, you know? And he showed a lot of confidence right there, just marching right at his opponent. And I was talking about the Burrow Move and Tunneling Claws being, like really great upgrades to have. But he hit basically as those upgrades finished up. And that's 250 minerals, 250 gas. That's how many roaches and ravagers is that? That's an additional, 3 roaches and an extra 2 ravagers basically. So it's basically the cost of morphing 2 additional ravagers and the cost of building 3 additional roaches pretty nearly. I think it'd be 75 25, so that'd be 225 75 for the roaches. And then the ravagers would be an additional 25 minerals, 75 gas. So it's not quite the same. But that would bring you up to 150. Yeah, so that would bring you up to 275 minerals, 225 gas. Obviously, the balance is not quite there, but it's what I'm saying, and it's having those upgrades come online just as the attack is coming in is very, very difficult. That makes things really, really unpleasant. I didn't think there was any kill timing that Elazer had, but he found one.
I mean, just when
impressive.
you go up 50 army supply, that can go for a lot. But
yeah.
that does help. But now we're going to move into Moondance for our third map in this series. Steadfast, this is actually a really interesting map for ZVZ. I think we're going to see some... I think you go mutas, right? Because you have that pocket base you can harass, but I think you don't go mutas because if you take that pocket base, you only have 5 gas. I'm actually really not sure how this map works in this matchup. I certainly haven't seen a game in it just yet. I'm excited to find out. But for now, we'll talk about that in just a little bit longer because game 3, we're ready.
That we are. We've got Miko up in the, he is up big in this series, but can his opponent fight back? Spawning up the top left with the 12 pool for Kitesy Gaming. It is Solar.
In the bottom right, in the blue, he's up 2-0, flowing like water around these different strategies. He is Miko. It's Elazer.
And you know what? I gotta say, this series right now is the greatest argument you could make for Raynor continuing to play Protoss against these players. We've had so much randomness. We had the 13-12 in game number 2. into into a Carapace follow-up from Elazer, which was, he wasn't aggressive, but it was Solar getting very aggressive on the counterattack. We saw the big Baneling connection in game number 1 that really caused some troubles. We're seeing now the 12 pull in game 3. This is a really strong argument for Elazer for Raynor to do what he's doing. Oh my goodness. He's going gasless hatch pool hatch against a 12 pool.
I mean,
no Overlord means that he's saving Larva. No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, he's just gonna lose the hatch.
But is it okay? Because I don't think Solar's gonna check bottom side. Wait, how many lings did Solar make? He made 12, and lings are. I think he keeps the hatch. No workers died just yet.
He doesn't have an Overlord to build more. I think he does lose the hatch, actually.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We are seeing one of the drones going down. Yeah, he's going to focus his hatch. He stopped attacking it for a moment, and he will not kill it now. He stopped attacking it for a moment. That was a huge misstep from Solar. And now, he is going to get into the main base, will finish off 2 of those wounded drones, but now Elazer is actually so far ahead. Oh my God, that was like, I think that was literally one set of attack from what, 7 Zerglings? 8 Zerglings? That didn't hit the hatchery. And I think if he kept attacking it, I think it goes down.
I do too. I mean, I get the idea of, you dance around the hatch to try to maximize your value, but the body blocking there from Elazer to make sure that once the lings left, they really could not find their way back on. Now this is an Elazer. Sorry? It was so good.
It was immaculate from Elazer, yeah.
And now this is an Elazer with 3 hatch. I mean, sure, his queens were delayed because of that, but that's really about that. He can build so many more workers. He can do whatever he wants. He is gasless, though, Steadfast. So maybe there's a follow-up that Solar... Oh, he's got to... No. You don't have enough damage with a single ling.
I was going to say, you need, if you got, 10 lings in there, that's a dead hatchery. The thing is, you can't sneak them out. There's, Elazer sees all the exits. And man, I don't know. This feels really, really rough for Solar right now.
It feels like a 12 pull against a gasless 3 hatch should win that game.
It feels like
how
it
that's
should
supposed
be able
to work.
Yeah. But obviously he wasn't able to get the hatchery. If he had, it would have been a really, really nice position because Solar was obviously expanding behind this. He would have been able to get the free third hatch behind this. There would have been no follow-up counter pressure because of the spawning pool, or because of the gasless setup from Elazer. Obviously, Elazer would have had his back base, but it would have been a less efficient base. Man, this is a really bad situation for Solar right now. He is really starting to get outscaled by Elazer's just superior setup.
That he is. Steadfast, my muta senses are... Well, no, we're not. I was going to say, my muta senses are tingling maybe, but it seems like it'd be good here. But again, with 5 gas, and 5 gas is not... I don't think 5 gas allows you to do what you want to do, even with the advantage and even with your opponent also being on 5 gas. But for now, Lair is halfway done. We're going to have a Roach Warren down, Evo Chamber at the front. And with +1 ranged on the way, it certainly looks like Elazer just looking to parlay this advantage he has for himself, right? With being up about 10 workers into more roaches in the mid game, into pressure. But we also have to remember, Steadfast, this core 3, it's really hard to punch through despite whatever advantage you may have.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't punch through it easily. It's very, very easy to defend it. But if you're in a situation like Elazer is in, where you're just up, you're just ahead in the game, if you ever push your opponent behind that wall, you pick it off basically for free. That is a very high value target in this Evo Chamber. It's going to be probably the one that starts +2 missile. The Roach Warren, if you lose that, you're in a really rough position. The only reason I think this won't be a muta map, by the way, sorry, to answer to your point from earlier, is not because it's only 5 gases. Having 5 gases, I mean, like you said, your opponent only has 5 gases, so it's kind of fine in that regard. I think it's more so the shortness of this map. And look at this. They both went for the quick second Evo. They're like mirroring each other, but Elazer just got a drone count to what he wanted so much earlier. So his army supply is exploding. It's like, it's as though he's just a minute ahead in the game.
Oh man, he's got so many roaches on the way. I love the weird of like aggressive greed that this map engenders. You're like, I'm gonna be as greedy as possible, but also not really, and I'm not really sure, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Look at that changeling.
Oh, good scout.
That's really nice. He gets to see the 4th base. He gets to see the exact position of the Ravagers, and he gets to see the army as it builds up. And he's going to get to see that he's got a ticket to the round of 16 if he just goes for it.
All right, so here we go. Roaches on the other side. I don't even think +1 carapace is going to complete, but +1 attack is done. Elazer with a 30 army supply lead right now. Ravagers trying to follow on up, but the roaches are here now. Oh, they find their way up top. There's no concave right now. The fantastic one for Elazer. He's just diving on top of things. He's got to get on top of those Ravagers, though. The miles are not landing here. And here comes Elazer. His chance at victory, the chance at the round of 16 on in. And now the Ravagers, they're going all the way down. Elazer, he's a 40 army supply, and we talk about how hard it is to break on through that ramp, but it does not matter if you take the fight in front of it. Solar, he bombs out the round.